Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. First, I'd like to be among the first to say to Barack Obama, congratulations on your imminent and historical win as America's first black presidential candidate. Your political brilliance, humility, and vision have been a breath of fresh air for the people of the United States and for the whole world. So I salute you. However, let me say that in supporting you as president-elect, our role as citizens of this planet is not to worship you, but to hold you accountable to the ideals that I know you stand for. You made a promise to bring change. Well, the point of this book is to begin the process of putting enough pressure on you so that you keep your promise of bringing meaningful and relevant change to not just white Americans, but to a race of second-class citizens in America known as black Americans. Right now, Mr. Obama, you are indeed a popular figure. However, there could come a time in your presidency when you might not be so popular because of decisions you might have to take in order to uphold certain ideals regarding democracy and a just world peace. I would expect, Mr. President-elect, that you will make the right decisions. And if you do not, then I, among others, stand ready to push you and steer you in the right direction. Mr. President-elect, I would ask that you never ever forget where you came from, who your father was, where he came from, and what society produced you as the person you are. For it is on our shoulders that you stood when you were nobody, and it is on our shoulders that you stand now. With all of this in mind, I come to you today to present this book, the purpose of which is to cast doubt, to ask questions, and to pose challenges to you and the society we live in. Democracy, as you know, Mr. President, is an unnatural human condition, and as such, it is very difficult to maintain. Indeed, what is unique about a just democratic system is the work required to sustain it rests not with the power at the top, but the power in the middle and at the bottom of society, where policies made at the top are supposed to make a difference. In your case, I am sure there are many people who adore and even worship you. However, I trust you agree that it is not in anyone's best interest that a person in your position should be adored or despised for that matter. Rather, what we ought to do, indeed what we must do, for the sake of democracy, is to support your ideals, but at the same time remain skeptical and vigilant, holding you accountable and questioning your every move. In the spirit of accountability associated with your office, Mr. President-elect, I would like to take this opportunity to demand that you as soon as possible appoint the following presidential commissions. First, fathers' rights. The first is on the issue of reproductive rights for men. I must say that so far I have been badly disappointed by you not taking on the issue of reproductive rights for fathers in a meaningful manner. However, I would hope that now that you are about to become president, you will take a closer look at your position and begin the process of asking relevant questions at the federal level regarding justice for fathers and their families. This is a global issue, Mr. President, one where if the United States sets the right example, it can make a difference here in South Africa and all over the world. Reparations for slavery. The second is on the issue of reparations for slavery. I am the grandson of a slave, who as a slave was as much an American citizen as the person who was his master. In the same vein that Jews have sought reparation for their Holocaust, I believe that black people in the Americas have a right to seek reparations for ours. In fact, the income we may receive from reparations could go a long way toward helping us build new institutions that not only will make us stronger as a people, but the United States stronger as a nation as well. Sentencing guidelines. The third is on sentencing guidelines that have seen the black male prison population in our country become the highest in the world. Right now, there are close to 1 million black men and women in prison in the United States. We need to take another look at the matrix of legislation that has caused our society to extend slavery and turn it into an oppressive prison system. You talk about the value of education, Mr. President. Well, I ask you to establish a commission that will assess how we as a nation can take black men out of jail and put them in school where we can make a positive difference in society. A dietary pandemic. The fourth relates to the use of trans fats, potent and addictive sugars, and other dietary substances that have made so many Americans and African Americans in the United States obese and ill. Look around you, Mr. President. See how many people are grossly overweight and addicted to food that is killing them. This needs to stop, Mr. President, and it is killing an entire generation and taking away our best and brightest in a manner that is worse than any war. The fate of our living earth. And the most important presidential commission I demand that you establish, Mr. President, is a commission composed of scientists, industrialists, and environmental activists from all over the world who will take a hard look at how we are treating this beautiful and wonderful living planet of ours. We know that there are those who are trying to leave it, and others who, for the sake of profits, are trying their best to kill our beautiful blue sphere. However, for 99% of the population of our planet, we have no choice but to stay here and make the best of what we have and go where it takes us. So unlike the Bush administration, I would expect that you would be a lot more sensitive to the needs of our living planet and be willing to appoint a special commission that will look into how all of us can best protect her interest, with your administration taking the lead. In closing, I would like to say to my readers that I wrote this book in honor of a freedom that not only allows us but warrants us to criticize our leaders. For in a democratic society, they exist to serve our interests, not vice versa. The presidency of the United States is the most powerful political position in the world. However, the power of that position does not belong to the person who holds that office. It rests instead with those of us who are endowed by our Constitution written by slave owners, men who had the foresight to build the end of slavery into a Declaration of Independence that says that all human beings, not just American citizens, but all human beings, are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And by implication, if we don't get that, then we should tear the house down. Now, Mr. President, my appeal to you, the choice is yours. The United States of America needs a savior, a leader who has more vision and more courage than any other leader perhaps in human history. For the last 8 years, we have seen our nation sink lower than at any time in our history. Mr. President-elect, it is your choice. You can be America's savior, or you can just be another Judas goat. If you stick to your principles and do what you said you were going to do, you'll be okay. If not, then rest assured that there are people like me, in fact, lots of us out here, who will do their best to make sure that the change you promise is indeed the change you will make. I congratulate you once again on your imminent victory, and I wish you, your wife Michelle, and your family well. Godspeed, Barack Obama. May the life and love of our living universe be with you.